So just a couple of quotes that are inspiring for this, and I hope some of you might have heard these from me before, but streets have always been scenes of conflict. The most powerful or well-established would win, but they do not by any means represent the public interest. So there's this sense of sometimes developers having a very specific aim on the type of development they want for a city, and that doesn't necessarily align with the needs of the people who are living in a place. The significance of this workshop and why we're doing this and why the StreetSpace Project exists, and it comes from the interest of many different people in the way that streets exist, the way they are developed, the way they are so valuable and important for the urban landscape and for especially the people who live in them. And one of the questions that the project asks is, how do we protect the value of local mixed streets? And that doesn't mean keeping them exactly the way they are, but it means to protect that kind of managed slow change that has happened for centuries and that caters for the needs of people in streets. And then further on to that, we also look at brief scrolls of buildings and interventions by the
Yeah, we kind of started off about 2 hours ago. We met at Boys Park at Ulster University. Our kind of project is along the main corridor from Crumlin Road Jail right through down to Donegal Street. And we kind of started taking a walk up, looking at the buildings, the atmosphere, kind of public realm, not just shops, but small businesses, cafes, and just we want to get a feel of what the people felt about the street.
Take a look. Do you see any flowers in the street?
Yeah.
You know the hanging flowers? No.
Yeah.
No. See, when the Christmas decorations comes up, there'll be one hung across that street, and that's all it has ever been. They won't spend money around here. It's all about houses.
Yeah.
You know, with all them car parks for years, and they refuse to build housing on them. Now the university's coming in and saying, all right, it's going to build housing, but it's for students.
Yeah.
There's no housing basically for local people.
You know, students, I can only see that being an advancement for the area. I can't see it being, I know a lot of people's going to say about partying and things like that, but sure, that's young and that's life. And, do you know what I mean? And it only happens now and again. It's not that it's going to be all of the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's also going to bring life into the area as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think really with regards to Belfast as a whole, it's neglected.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say over the last 5 years, more perhaps, we have seen just life, shoppers dwindle away. You know, there is no life, there's no heart in the city because it is House of Fraser and Debenhams and Boots and Marks and Spencers. Yeah.
Although I dare say the council will tell you different. You know, oh, we've done this and we've done that. You take a look at it. Any other street in the town with these big fancy lamps with flyers and all hanging from them. Never has been. Nothing around here.
Do you feel it's North Belfast then has kind of fallen a bit behind then?
It's been neglected in terms of public investment and the kind of the infrastructure here, in terms of cultural infrastructure and artistic representation of the history of the city.
Clifton House was right beside the Clifton House graveyard, and because of the new motorways, Westlink, we lost part of the graveyard. So we're going to lose a lot, that more than what we realise.
First of all, I'd like to say that awful thing there, I don't know if it's sculpture or what it is, in Carlisle Circus here. That is a wonderful spot to symbolise something really important about this area of Belfast.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
We have been working on the Clifton Gateway, which is the corridor made by Donegal Street, Clifton Street and Crumlin Road, and the students did the first semester a very in-depth research based on interviews and ethnography about the people of that place, of that corridor, and based on that each student came up with a project that reflected the needs of that street.
This thesis project seeks to address the well-documented process of urban gentrification and the consequent question of inclusivity in urban planning and design. specifically in relation to the LGBTQ+ community. This community, both globally and in Northern Ireland, has a need to gather, to find unity and solidarity in a country which has historically and to the present day marginalises and discriminates against it. This thesis is not responding to some new trend, but instead to a struggle which has always existed. Without understanding the hardships that have been endured and which we continue to face, the importance and need for the scheme presented in this thesis cannot be appreciated.
I had a series of conversations with people of the arts community in Belfast who used to work in the North Street Arcade. The drawing shows in detail the use and occupation of each of the units in the building, not only showing use, but telling a story through the combination of all those people that inhabited the building. My project proposes retaining the existing scarred structure and inserting shop, work and live units. I aim to bring life back to this important part of Belfast's history.
I studied the prison and the hospital by shadowing a nurse, speaking with former patients and prison staff. This led me to create a series of collages that included excerpts of some interviews. Each image reveals a memory of a person's experience that evokes thoughts and feelings of that particular situation. It's a new care centre for that time between hospital and home, a place for discharged patients from the Mater Hospital to reside while they await their care package for more permanent accommodation. The centre promotes independence, reintegration into the community and the opportunity for residents to grow accustomed to their surroundings. The centre's main aim is to merge care with a less clinical, home-like space.
Walter Square is a public space owned by the Department of Communities that was built in the 90s after the demolition of a series of blocks in front of St. Square. The square's design is flawed with excessive change of levels, difficult access and lack of permeability. However, some people do use it. I mapped this use by drawing the clothes of people so we could identify their gender, age and background. This showed a broader picture of the users and uses of the space.
So this is the end of year show, and it's where all the students of architecture of this whole School of Architecture show all the work that they've done throughout the last year. It's a celebration. In this area, it's our studio, the StreetSpace studio, that we have been working for a year together with the Department for Communities and Belfast City Council.
There's a community centre in that area called the New Lodge area, and there's an existing boxing gym there, and it's just one room. And the Holy Family Boxing Club, and Carl Frampton's trained there, Paddy Barnes, so I found that out and then was trying to design a new boxing gym for them.
I really love in the street space how they've taken areas that really need development and have come up with really exciting concepts for what to do there.
Really impressed with what I can see here tonight. So many different ideas, and it would be absolutely brilliant if local government came here, looked at this, took this on board and really did something about this particular area. It's very run down at the minute, and I remember what it used to be like, and it was a lot better than it is now, so it would be absolutely fantastic, and well done to all the students.
Yes, so it's great to see everyone's work come together, especially since we had the 2-day workshop in City Hall with so many practitioners and students. People from all over the world were able to come. There was 45 practitioners.
We are of the most successful types of high streets in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it was actually really nice to have the StreetSpace workshop as kind of the icing on the cake. It's a nice way to finish the whole project. Learned a lot, especially with the workshop. There's loads of different people from different countries coming over, so it's nice to see the way they work.
It's been a lot of work just through the whole year. Usually with design studios, we get our marks and that's it, but this has been very different in terms of it's a very live project and there's a lot of people exterior to academia involved, so in that respect it's been really good to continue on, and it's a lot more fulfilling, I think, just to have your work validated in that sort of way.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun all year, a lot of mixture of different things, from interviewing people to doing kind of site analysis to then designing a building, and it's been really fun and it's really good.
It's been an amazing journey, the whole thing. It's been very exciting and a lot of fun, and really kind of humbling to see the amount of generosity of all the people that have been involved in the whole project, and I can start thinking of place, the place that we are sitting in now and where this exhibition is right now. It has been an incredible organization in kind of hosting a lot of the events and exhibitions that we've been doing with the StreetSpace and many other colleagues at Queen's Architecture and Planning. So I'd like to thank Place a lot for doing this. I would like to thank everybody so much for the work. I'm amazed by the amount of things produced in the last 2 days, once again, like last year. And I think one of the things that were the comments on after last year was that we weren't looking enough at people, and by looking so much at ideas, we weren't really focusing on the needs of people in place. And because we discussed ideas of trade and ideas of heritage and all these other layers of the cities that we understand when we think about urban design, we kind of neglected in the past the actual people that live there. And the fact that we started the studio in September by looking and talking to those people that are part of this environment, that really triggered a different way of doing things today. And I think that's really shown a shift in the way that the StreetSpace Project has been going from looking at space to looking at people.